to Urbino.
So, when last we left off, we had done some stuff. We'd taken over most of Rome, and of course we left them with one thing, which means that they're now in a trade league, because of course they are. And let's see here. Now we have to continue our conquest of Italy. So, Ferrara has a claim here. Let's see. How is my aggressive expansion looking? I have 29 aggressive expansion. This is a reasonably small province. So if I try to expand over here, I probably can. Probably. Savoy is allied with Mantua. So I could wipe out Mantua's army right off the bat, probably. But no, it's best for me to just chill for now, actually. I'm not at full reinforcements. We're just going to chill. It's going to be fine. And let's see here. Ooh, we can fabricate another claim. Excuse me. Well, that's convenient. Yay for claims bordering claims, right? And who is this? Genoa. I wasn't thinking that I would actually be able to do that. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure why I was able to do that. I thought that the claims bordering claims ended in the previous... Oh! It hasn't actually ended yet. Okay, that's convenient. That's very convenient. And let's see here. What do we intend to do now? Let's also check. I don't remember all the things. So, joining the Reformation we've already done. And we're going to want to convert another nation at some point. So, what do we want to do with you? We've got Ferrara chugging along right now. They've got their completely separate manpower pool, and I like that. Looks like there are no rebels here anymore. So I think we're just in a waiting period for right now. We've had a pretty good run for a while. And I think that now is a good time for me to chill, just relax, and get some good business done. Yeah, especially because we've got to get our Liberty Desire here under control. And this is... See, the sacked city is what's really doing it for us. So, that penalty from that. That said, next month I think they will be loyal again, because that is a lot of penalties that are just going to disappear. Well, not disappear, but... Alright, so we're going to actually send someone to flirt with you just a little bit. And if we can get them to tick up... Ooh! The Genoan Trade League just disbanded. They're allied with Genoa and Mantua. Genoa is very unlikely to join. Alright, we're gonna pop over here. Oh, you are now not... Just that? Odd. I'm not getting the thing for it. Well, we're going to get a little bit of a penalty to aggressive expansion, but that's okay. Okay, so we have Papal Separatists that are technically spawning again. Now, for you, since they are now loyal, we can offer the royal marriage. That royal marriage will do the job here. So, Mantua is allied with all of these people. Savoy is only allied with Mantua. If I declare on the Papal State, Genoa will join. Which is surprising, actually, because they look like they're in a bad place right now. So I could try to take Mantua, but I don't have an easy route into there. So while it is certainly something I could do, I don't know that I actually want to do that right this second. So we have a new pope. How is our religious map going? We are expanding through. So who's currently being converted? So these Parman separatists are going to eventually get independence, I think. As long as they don't end up in a war, those guys are gonna do their job. So, you guys... Savoy would not join if I attacked Mantua. So, one of the big questions... I don't think it's a good idea for me to get into a fight while I'm below 0 manpower. So we're going to leave the Holy Roman Empire alone for now. Imperial authority. So there's 3 heretic princes in the empire. This reduces imperial authority. So our goal is to basically cripple imperial authority for now. Oh, shit. Oh, I don't like that. Those damn nobles. You can't trust them. Da, 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 da. So, do we have more stuff that we want to build right now? Hello? I'm not quite at my force limit yet. Do I want to add a couple of infantry? They're pretty expensive, honestly. Mercs are pretty expensive if... Encourage them to go into other businesses. Attacks. Ooh, free thinker. That would be really useful if not for the fact that I only have one idea that I'm going to be getting. So colonialism is going to take a while to spread to... what am I doing? You fools! I forgot that I didn't have these people actually doing trade, so I am a dope. Shocking dope. Alright, so that should actually dramatically increase my income. Let's take a look at our current control here. 16%, so... yeah, that's a pretty huge upgrade. Do I want to build 2 mercs? To fill up my force limit. I think I do. Alright, so if we declare war on Rome, we will immediately be pulled into a war against Mantua as well. Mantua is landlocked. Genoa is definitely not. So... do we want to move over there and get this done? I think we do. We have 22,000 troops. Mantua has a trash general. There's a decent general in the Papal State. And they've been drilling as well. Actually, they've been drilling. Can I just walk over there and wipe them out? I almost certainly can. So this army can be wiped because I can declare war, and then the second I declare war, I can just pop in on them. So... oh, we have a truce with them. I forgot that I still had a truce with Rome. That explains a lot. February of next year. So do we want to take Rome itself, or do we want to take Mantua? If we take this, we could call Cologne and Trier into the war. Oh, actually. So do we want... so the big question here is fundamentally, if we're going to declare, do we want... I'd like to have territory that I'm taking for myself, honestly, but... oh, Provence is no longer an ally. When did Provence stop being an ally? Huh. Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's see. What is plan? See, if I declare war on Mantua, then I'm not dealing with my administrative power problem. I could just keep pumping this development, which is such a strange and foreign thing for me to be doing. It's very foreign, but whereas if I wait and take Rome, I think I'm better off waiting and taking Rome. I don't think it makes very much sense for me to do it the other way. So we're gonna just take Rome. That will give us a huge amount of admin power to use. That's going to be hundreds of admin power. This is a 28 development city. And we can develop a little bit more manpower before we go to war. I shouldn't have fired those mercenaries when I did. I'm going to enable army drilling for a couple of months. And then once this truce expires, we'll be able to just jump in. Now, obviously, we're going to need to stop drilling before that happens. We will stop drilling in, I think, July. Excuse me. Okay. So we're going to stop drilling. We got just like a little bit of drill on most of these people. So we have 2 drill, which is 0.2% reduction. Yay! But we also got a little bit of army professionalism out of that. So Corfu and the Knights, truce with Switzerland. Hey! So Venice still has their thing. Papal State is allied with Genoa and Mantua. And let's see. It looks like I could have waited a little bit longer. So we don't have any more claims to fabricate here. And Savoy is actually in serious trouble, so I think we're going to stop building this. I don't think it's going to be any use. We can fabricate all the claims on Genoa. And in just a couple of months, we'll be able to dive this army. My guess is that it will... Sorry, my brain broke. My guess is that these will stop drilling by the time that happens. But it looks like they're not. Weirdly enough, there's only a couple of months left. And if they keep drilling, they're not going to be at full morale when I attack them. So... apparently, according to this, the Truce of the Papal State has expired, but it has not actually expired, has it? It has. It has legitimately expired. Okay, we're going to call Trier into this war. And we're going to take Rome. So, Genoa and Mantua are going to be called in, but we should be able to dive Rome before anybody gets a chance to do anything. We need to pull you guys back over here. Do I have a large enough fleet? Okay, I have 18 ships here. We're going to just go straight to Rome and see how it goes. Okay, so we just won the Battle of Rome, and we are going to want to sit on Rome, probably. These guys are going to try to siege here. There's 15,000 troops from Genoa. And the question is going to be... oh, shit. It occurs to me that I have really crappy diplomatic technology. I just remembered that, so we're going to get these out of here. That's fine. And we didn't lose any ships, right? We didn't lose any ships. So these guys are going to fight, and that's fine. But we got a wall breach. So that wall breach is going to be pretty useful. And hopefully these guys dive Ferrara. That's my hope, is that if they go to Ferrara, I should be in reasonably good position. Looks like they're not diving Ferrara. They're diving my fort. So we are ahead. Are these guys going to also dive my fort? A new aspect of faith can be selected. And let's see. Translated Bibles is kind of cool. I feel like translated Bibles is pretty standard. Saints Accept Prayers is pretty nice for the war-like route that I'm going. So, considering that we're just trying to form Italy, I'm going to go with Saints Accept Prayers. It's going to be fine. I can actually call other allies into this war if I want. And I don't think I necessarily do. Do I? Yes, I do, actually. I'm going to call everybody to arms, because if I call everybody to arms, then I think there's a higher probability that we'll be able to... Oh, come on. They got a wall breach, too? Unacceptable. Oh, shit. Status quo. They're going to get ahead of me. If they get ahead of me, then I need to... get in there. Can you guys get to here? Yes. So, with everybody joined in, we should be able to easily handle this fight. there was a concern that that they weren't going to be able to reach. But then again, these guys are sitting here. So some of them seem to have the ability to get here, and some of them do not. So, the other thing that I need to do, because I am an idiot who completely forgot to do this, let's do this with a cavalry, because cavalry move quickly. Oh, wow, that's amazing. We just scared this guy off with a single cavalry. I completely forgot that I had the wrong general for this. I wanted the general who's better at fighting to go in first with the whole army, but then I forgot to actually move them around. So we can go ahead and abolish tax. That's fine. We lose a bit of money, but I don't care about that. So we are currently sieging Mantua, and we have 2 armies. We're at 0%. We got the breach. It should start escalating pretty fast from here. The further along the siege is, the faster the siege goes. So it should go reasonably quickly. Of course, if you roll a 0, then it doesn't go quickly at all. Then it goes infinitely slowly. You don't make any progress if you're just coughing up a lung. Though, if you have a disease outbreak like that, you can weaponize it. All you have to do is start hurling bodies and diseased carcasses behind the walls. This is an established tactic that I'm not entirely sure if there was a concept of a war crime at the time. I don't think there was. Don't I have... Oh, there's going to be a fight here. Fight, fight, fight. Hey! So Parma just got independence. That's pretty cool. And we're going to finish taking Rome. And once we finish taking Rome, we should be in reasonably good shape. We can take a new ability here. I guess we'll take adaptive terrain bonus because... what I should have done was taken the war taxes thing, because then I could immediately tick it and get the most benefit. We just won the Siege of Rome. Milanese separatists. Oh no. Oh no. Poor Parma. Okay, we have to help Parma. I'm sorry. We need to. I feel so bad for Parma. They have to keep existing. I mean, until I conquer them, obviously. Quickly! Give me military access! I will save you from these barbarians! And I'm not doing this entirely just because of the fact that they would bring you into a larger nation that I don't want you to join, because then you would be a larger nation. I'm not protecting my own strategic interests in the least. What gave you that idea? Okay, so we wiped them out, and we are moving on to here. We can move to the proper general, and by proper I mean the siege general. We could have brought the siege general over to Mantua. What we're actually going to do, because we can, is we're going to bring a portion of these guys over here. We can cancel the military access with you. We don't need it anymore. Okay. Now, we need to win this war reasonably quickly, because we're getting very close to capping admin. Speaking of which, I really should be swapping this over to Diplo Power, considering how far I am behind in Diplo Power. Okay, so We got a siege going here. That siege is going well. We've got a siege going here. That's going pretty well as well. Catholic zealots have shown up in Modena. Well, that's unacceptable. So the Age of Reformation has started. So how do I do this? I'm wondering how I start the league. Oh, there's a bunch of fighting going on over here. Huh. Good to know. I'm actually not sure. It says that it enables the league conflict, or it enables religious conflicts. So give me 1 second to check. It needs to be after 1550. Okay, and there needs to be a Protestant elector. There's probably a Protestant elector by now already. But, okay, that's good to know. We now have an idea of how that all plays out. There's 6,000 troops here that I can just go and wipe out. This will also give us a nice little relations bonus with our vassal, which is useful. And we have 1 more month before I have to start spending admin power. Can I piece you out? I'm sitting on your capital. And everybody's fleets seem to be hiding in port. So I'm actually kind of curious whether... Are they hiding in port, though? I don't actually know. I don't see any ships roaming around, so... So we just gained Conquest Casaspolia against Provence because Provence took over that territory. And these guys have abandoned the siege because they're dumb. So one of my allies just abandoned the thing. So this siege is still going, as far as I can tell. And everything is fine. Yay, disease outbreak. That's just what I want to see. So the members of the Holy Roman Empire that are on my side are going to just be getting pushed out by Genoa periodically, but that's okay. We just won the Siege of Genoa, and we did not actually want to fight their navy, but that's okay. We can pick up Diplomatic Corps, and we unlocked the Diplomatic Defense Act, which does something. +1 diplomats and +1 diplomatic relations for free. I like that a lot. So I now have the ability to have another vassal or another ally. So that will help me out considerably. So Genoa, how you feeling, buddy? We're going to have Genoa... Do I want them to transfer trade power to me? Genoa has a decent bit of trade power here. If I stopped steering trade here and started gathering in Genoa, then... Let's do that. We're gonna move and start collecting here instead, because we can actually get Do you have... Okay, you're part of that node instead. So if we piece out Genoa separately, we can get transfer trade power. We can get we can get them to return cores to people. We can get them to revoke their core in Parma. I'm going to get them to revoke their core in Parma because screw them. And we can have them break all of their alliances. Just isolate them completely. Okay, we can't actually do that. We can't... There's no reason to do that. Venice is just military access, so... I think Mantua is the only alliance they have, actually. So we can send this right now if we want. How much money do they have? They have enough money that it's worth it to wait for this battle to finish. We can just wait a second and... There we go. So we pull out. Once that battle is over, and that battle is now over, we can now... excuse me. We can now piece out Genoa. We can't piece them out with this quite yet. We need to wait a little bit longer. And we are going to move you guys over here, I guess. Is that Genoa? Yes, and Genoa is going to be eliminated from the pack, but not quite yet. Oops. Okay, I'm not sure how that happened exactly, but that's fine. You are just going to walk in here to help out this siege. And has it been a month? I think it's been a month, right? So we should, hypothetically, yes. So we can get this done. This will annul some of their alliances, weaken them generally, and give us some trade power in the region. So let's take a look at how much money we are collecting. We collect 1.88 here. Not too shabby. So the Papal State, for some reason, put some ships out here. Oh, they put ships out here because they had access there, and so they were doing that. Okay, so we are going to send you back on a protect trade mission in Venice, and we are going to put the repair threshold to any damage, and we are going to invest in new technology. Oh! We have a tech penalty now. I had forgotten that we have the tech penalty. The tech penalty is actually pretty useful because it means that I can stockpile more before I run out of time. Now, do I want to do anything in particular to Mantua? Are you my rival, as an example? No. It's Venice, the Papal State, and Florence. So, annexing Rome is going to be useful for me. Yay. My air is actually good! It's amazing! Okay, so we now have 100% war score. The question is whether we want to piece out Mantua separately, and we can force our religion on them, which completes a age objective, and then make them pay us money. So let's do that. So we got converted another nation, done. That's ticked off the list for Age of Reformation. I like that. And now we have the ability to annex Rome. Milan, we do not have a thing with. We do not have a thing with Venice either. So what does that mean for us? So Milan is... Wait. I think a coalition cannot form if there are not 3 nations that are viable coalition members. Therefore, hypothetically speaking, I should be safe from a coalition if I annex this because there will not be 3 nations because the Papal State will not exist. So, hypothetically, this is safe. So we're going to go ahead and take their money. We're going to have them revoke their core on Romagna, which I didn't realize I could do while I was annexing them. That's actually really nice. And that's a wrap. Cool. So we're going to do this. All right, 4 existing nations to form a coalition. Thank you. So we got some power projection, and we have taken Rome for our pretty little selves. So we're going to go ahead and take the coring, and we are able to do some stuff. What is this? Enforcing church attendance? Meh. Silly. I still think that this should be a Catholic thing. This seems very anti-Protestant. But then again, I don't actually know, because it's there's a lot of, shall we say, disconnect between the principles of a religion and the way that that religion actually behaves. So... what does this do? Technology... Okay, we don't need any of this stuff yet. This will piss off Austria. That's really funny that it just specifically pisses off Austria when you form Italy. I'm sure that there's some historical reason for that. I just don't know what it is. Okay, so we've taken Rome, and we now have a whopping 7% of the trade value here. But we're up to 12% here, and we can collect 3.69, which is a lot more than I was expecting to collect, but it's pretty useful. So at some point... Oh, you know what we should do, because I forgot to do this. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this to a thinger. I think that that's reasonably cost-effective to do. It only costs 200, and it gives you a pretty sizable amount of trade power benefit, and it's just nice. Let's see. The thing that's nice about it is that you're increasing the base trade power, which then is increased further by any of the bonuses that you have to trade power. So as an example, at some point we are going to need to pump this, but that's fine for now. At any rate, Rome, we can't do this because it's not one of our cores. But once we core it, we're actually going to have a ton of possibilities there. Let's see. COT. Go your C. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Why you no merge? Oh, because you're not in the same place. I forgot this guy was up here. Okay, and let's see here. Oh, and yes, to increase your centers of trade. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love pumping centers of trade. It's a nice little addition that I don't even remember which expansion brought them in. But they don't call them expansions anymore. They call them DLCs now. But I feel like expansions and DLC are fundamentally different things. These things feel like expansions to me, not DLC. You are being annexed by Milan, is that it? Oh, hell no, friend. Oh, hell no. Call me in, baby. Call me in. Put me in, coach. Put me in. You gonna call me in the war? Please call me in the war. Please don't get annexed by Milan. I saved you from the Separatists because I don't want you to be part of Milan. I want you to join me diplomatically later. Because I love diplomatic annexation. Let's see. It's one of my favorite things. We have a while to wait on that. Let's take a look at my army force limit. So we're 1 behind our force limit. And I really need to figure out what I'm going to do with all these diplomats that I'm just having sit around doing nothing. So, in another 30-some years, I can form the Protestant League. So, that'll be convenient. Let's take a look at the religious map. It looks like we have Protestantism converting a large portion of this territory. Which is good. It's very useful. Unfortunately, I think that you're going to be boned. I'm going to go ahead and pump my relations with you anyway. Come on, Parma, put me in, coach! Put me in, coach! Bring me in! So, it looks like Parma is allied with Florence. And they brought Florence into the war, but they have not brought me into the war. So I think they might be boned. Because they're not calling me in. I would have expected them to have called me in by now. So since they haven't called me in, I'm guessing that they can't for some reason. So I think Parma's screwed. But I think you're screwed. And we've got 6 diplo relations right now, which I think is our actual limit. As in, we have 6 available to us, which I think is the limit that we should have right now. Tunis is not super happy with us, so we're going to start pumping our relations with Tunis again. Tunis is really big and strong right now, so it would be nice to be able to use them against Castile. Castile is going to be pretty rough to deal with right now. I'm not sure when we're going to go after them. On the plus side, southern Italy, if I recall correctly, is largely less developed than northern Italy. So taking southern Italy isn't a super high priority. It's not going to increase our power by that much. So we have a truce with you, and we need all the claims. So let's get a spy network going here. Do we have stuff with you? Occupied by the Ottomans. Interesting. So they do have quite a few ships here. They're currently at war with the Ottomans. And they are winning. I mean, the Ottomans are winning. The fundamental question here is, would it be possible for me to get to Venice? Because they have a lot of that stuff. I think we're just going to keep protecting trade for now. I could build like a proper fleet, but that would make way too much sense. We are at the very least going to build a couple more of these. So Salzburg is currently occupied by the Ottomans. My biggest concern, if I was to attack, is that I'd attack and then I wouldn't actually be able to accomplish pretty much anything. Oh, the Papal State exists again. I keep forgetting that the Papal State will show up again if I annex it. As long as there are Catholics, there shall be a Papal State. Okay. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna go with Condotta. Minimize casualties. So I don't think I need to take a look at any of these. Do I want to start drilling? Bigger question. Do I want to actually deal with this rebel problem that I have that I wasn't paying any attention to? Sure. You know, might as well, right? We'll deal with them later. But yeah, it looks like Parma is not going to be a viable choice here. Montferrat is rivals with the other person that I've got. Why is your opinion of me so low anyway? We're nice people. We're very nice. So Parma's going to get annexed here, I'm almost positive. There's not really a lot of way that I can prevent that from happening other than, like, attacking them. Florence got pieced out, so Florence isn't going to be in this war. Let's take a look at our aggressive expansion. We are so close. I want to keep the Rome fort. I might as well, yeah. So we're going to leave the fort in Rome. We don't really have any reason not to. We have so much income. It's tempting to get modern theocracy, but it's a waste. I might get it as soon as I have access to the other stuff. So, what do we want to do now? Have we courted you yet? No. Not yet. So let's see here. We're gonna have, like, no prestige for the entire game. It's gonna be great. So let's take a look at the religious map. We got a pretty decent amount of stuff going on over here. England is still mostly Catholic. So it looks like the Protestant Reformation is centered on Italy, which is kind of interesting. And part of that is because of us. And let's see here. You are sitting at 4 unrest because of the penalty from that one event. And I'm sure it's been 20 years. We're going to start getting this stuff done again. Whoa, I'm sitting on very low legitimacy. It turns out that having negative close to 100 is not a great... So it looks like we're going to have to do this anyway. That's fine, though. Okay. I don't know why I did that. That was really silly of me. Okay, well, we're taking this immediately. I just wasn't paying enough attention. And we can now... Do we want to take Humanist? We might want to take Humanist. I'm going to take Humanist. Humanist has Benevolence, which is actually really good for dealing with aggressive expansion because improved relations modifiers increases the rate at which aggressive expansion declines, or decays rather. So it doesn't reduce the volume that you get at the very start, but it does reduce how long you have to deal with it. We can't actually get them high enough to do that. That's kind of funny. Do we want to put the burghers in charge of Rome? That might give them way more influence than they should have. Alright, so we can make this into a state. And we can core it. And what's the other thing we can do here? So that reduces the unrest to a manageable level. Why do I have papal separatists here? I guess this is the primary culture of this is the papal state. I guess. That's all I can think of. Okay, so we've eliminated the rebels as a threat. And we can now move on to... So what does this do? Suspend all penal laws. For members of other religions. Oh, that's cool. Sure, why not? And what is the Conventicle Act? Remove all of the restrictions on, heretics, but make it illegal for them to gather in groups. That seems like a great plan. Alright, so we have 9 years before we can attack them. We're going to definitely need to go after someone else first. Venice is no longer at war. And we have a new aspect of faith available. So what do we want as our final thing? Individual creeds is really nice, especially when you stack it with other idea cost reductions. But I think I might want to go with national unrest reduction. Actually, no. I think that this is more valuable. Because if you think about national unrest reduction, you can increase national unrest reduction by 1 just by boosting stability. So sitting at 2 stability instead of 1 costs me an additional 100-some admin power. Whereas this will... I think this will overall be a better bargain, especially because of the fact that I'm getting Humanist anyway, which is going to reduce dramatically the amount of stuff that I have. Hey, I got an achievement for that, because this is the first time that I've actually finished up this is the first time I've been Protestant. This is my faith. So, where is that achievement list? So, it didn't actually show up on the thing. So... Convert to Protestantism and unlock 3 aspects of faith. Yay. Okay. Alright, so the Ottomans have stopped doing their nonsense. So the Papal State has joined a Ragusan... I don't have to care about that, because the Papal State is now a Holy Roman Empire problem? Probably. Well, that's interesting. Hey, Syria. What? We've got a buffer state between the Mamluks and the Ottomans. It's not a great buffer state because this exists, but it's pretty interesting. And what else do we have? Aragonese noble rebels. So we're gonna merge these two ships together. And what do we have now? We have 9 income, which is a pretty sizable chunk. We can go ahead and pump this up to the next level. And it would be nice to develop Urbino to the point where we could actually get this next building unlocked. I don't know that that's likely to happen, though. So I don't think we're going to want to destroy that castle. It's too useful. But it would be nice to build a trade center there. I'm not used to having this much money as this tiny a nation. This is really funny. I don't feel like a big, strong nation. I feel like a tiny, tiny nation. But I'm not actually a tiny nation. I'm actually a pretty decent-sized nation because of just how many people are in central Italy. And Mantua, we have a truce with for how long? Do we have any rivals that we can easily humiliate? Oh, I guess I should probably do this. I have the ability to declare war to do all sorts of interesting things. And so Genoa we have a peace treaty with, yes? Yes. Province we do not. They are allied with East Frisia, but they do have these two entities with them. Milan is allied with Baden. So if I were able to... Is this hills? I'm actually going to build our first mortar. They're expensive, but they're very useful. And the nice thing about them is they have a tendency to not die. So while you have that upfront cost of manpower, they're usually not going to be draining your manpower much by just standing on the front lines getting murdered. So my corruption is apparently growing, so we're going to go ahead and root out corruption. Why was my corruption growing? Let's take a look at my corruption. Unbalanced research. So that's something that will resolve itself when diplomatic tech gets under control. And that's going to be really cheap to pump. Let's see here. I need 418 still? Oh, right, I have the tech penalty. It's going to take a while before that moves all the way to us. So we're going to have that tech penalty for a while. That's fine, though. Okay. What do we want to do? We need another rival, which I thought I had just set, but apparently I did not because I was worried about other stuff. Castile is terrifying, but I can apparently set them as a rival. Do we want to go after province? Do we want to go after Milan? Milan is currently allied with Baden who I think is a reasonably small entity. I don't remember who Baden is. I guess I can find out. Okay, so yeah, Baden is a 2-province minor over here in the Holy Roman Empire. So what I can do is I can do a humiliate rival casus belli against Milan just to get myself some more power here. And I think that's probably what we're going to want to do. We're going to be wanting to expand into this nation. I need 35 to be able to fabricate my next claim on them, apparently. So, we're going to cancel autonomous suppression. We will now have rebels spawning eventually. And once I get my new casus belli, we can set the war goal to take the capital. And we don't necessarily need to call Cologne into this, but we're going to anyway. Because I don't really... I could be building up their trust, and that would probably be a good idea to do. But I'm nothing if not lazy. We're going to actually swap over to this guy. Hello. Do I want to attack you? I kind of do, actually. Can I get there? I don't think I can even get there. I should be able to, but I think it's causing problems for me because of silly reasons. At any rate, we should be able to reasonably quickly siege down their capital, and I feel like Cologne should be able to start moving soon. They're not going to move immediately, obviously. Oh, yeah, Ferrara's. I'm like, I keep thinking that Florence and Ferrara are the same country. I can't keep their names straight. They're not that similar, but you know, shit happens when you're the nobility. I should probably do something about my legitimacy. My legitimacy is getting really low. Legitimacy being low is very bad, so we need to start getting shit under control. Alright, we're already at 65% war score. That escalated fast. And we're just going to jump in on their army here. I don't even know that it's necessarily worth it to jump in on their army here, but I guess they do not have a leader. And I should have brought my proper leader. Alright, so you're going to be in charge now. Okay, we are going to split this army in half, send you here. Split this army in half, send you here. Whoa, hello, friends. Goodbye, friends. Alright, so this will allow me to siege down all of their provinces. And I think that if I do this, I can basically just get fait accompli and just be like, okay, well, the war's over. War's over, friends. War is over. And let's tick this, and there we go. It might not work. I don't want to force religion on them. I want to show strength. I'm not that interested in converting them. Let's see here. Can I convert this with my finger? I think I can. So at some point, Rome is going to get converted by one of these centers of Reformation, I think. I'm reasonably sure... Oh, yeah, this is right near here. So at some point, Rome is going to get converted by the center of Reformation. Unless there's some specific mechanic that prevents that from happening in Rome, it will happen. So we can wait for that siege if we want, or if we prefer, and I think we prefer to just pop over here, and we can pop into Ferrara, fight these guys, and this, I think, will do the job. If not this particular fight, then once we actually wipe out their army. So Milan is not quite dealt with. There we go. Now they're dealt with. So we're at 88% war score. They have no army. They are still not willing to accept this because screw you, that's why. The Conventicle Act is what? Okay, so let's go ahead and just turn that off. Because I'm a filthy RPer. I do all the math so that I can RP and not screw myself. Okay. Let's see. Da, 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 da. And we really are going to have to wait for this siege, strangely enough. I wasn't expecting to actually have to wait for that siege, but I could have actually just left them on Ferrara and not worried about it, because there we go. So we're now at 99% war score. So we have a couple options. The first is to piece them all out together, but why would we do something silly like that when we can get someone to pay me war reparations? And all that jazz. So that we can get a little bit of money. And now we're at 100% war score. So we can recall our diplomat from Montferrat. You want to be my ally now, right? I mean, obviously after I'm not at war. So, we are going to gain 100 of each monarch power. Interestingly enough, I don't get any prestige. I just get power projection, but that's okay. I don't mind that. We're going to get 100 monarch power of each type. And now we could start pumping naval ambition, and we probably should to reduce our corruption gain. It's going to be unfortunate to do that right now, but that's fine. All right. Now, this is a one-province minor with 15 development. I'll be able to diplomatically vassalize them eventually, so we're just going to go ahead and take them as an ally. They do have a doge, which is going to make it a little bit harder to diplomatically vassalize them. But we're getting pretty big. I think it'll be fine. So, Milan is still fighting Genoa, and strangely enough is still winning against Genoa. It looks like Provence is currently going after Genoa as well. So, they're allied with East Frisia, and we could call Montferrat in if we were to do this, interestingly enough. So we could take this for ourselves, and we could give them this. We are not going to. I think that would be a little silly. So we're not going to do that. Let's see here, though. You, Mantua, would work to vassalize, potentially. It would take a long time before I could do it, though. That would be a very long time. And honestly, diplomatically vassalizing people isn't really a huge option that I have at my disposal right now anyway, just because of how thinger I am. They're allied with England. Ew. So, England might generally punch below its weight class in wars because the AI handles it very badly, but its weight class is a very big weight class. So punching below that weight class does not mean that they're not a serious threat. Let's see here. We have 15 years on you. Knights in Switzerland. It'd be nice to do a humiliate rival on Venice, but that's not going to happen immediately. All right, so what do we want to do now? We have humanist ideas to finish. Getting this is going to be really nice. I can get an additional diplomatic relation. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Let's take a look at our religions. We're starting to expand outward, which is nice. It would be nice if our center would convert this, but we'll just have to see how it goes. We will see how that goes. So Castile is basically an insurmountable obstacle right now. Independence of you is guaranteed by the Ottomans, which is no fun. Montenegro exists. That's interesting. Or Montenegro. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. Shocking no one. I guess we're just going to wait a bit. We're just going to wait on our truce with Florence while we are fabricating claims on their provinces. Let's take a look at which of these is highest development. It looks like Lucca is the highest development province. Ferrara already has a claim there, so we don't need to make a claim. So we'll claim this. And it looks to me like Genoa might basically just cease to exist here. Provence is going to take a bunch of this territory. And do I want to go after Provence? They're allied with East Frisia. They have a couple of small junior partners. I think I'd rather wait until I can bring some allies into this. It's generally dangerous to go after people that have a vassal swarm because they are surprisingly durable. Milan is at war with Venice. That's interesting. So Venice does have their fleet chilling out here, which means that I'm not going to want to go after them. Okay, so religious unity plus 25 and plus 1 yearly prestige. We need to get our prestige going the correct direction because right now it is going the wrong way. Brizzy. So we lost our conquest claim against Naples, and we should be drilling. This is silly. We should either be drilling or doing... We don't need to do anything about you. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and enable army drilling. And we are set. Got 100 power projection. Not too shabby. It feels really slow because I'm used to being in nations where I can expand in a lot of different directions through a lot of different nations. I'm not really used to being surrounded by the behemoths that I'm surrounded by right now. I am concerned about how big Provence is getting. The Protestant Reformation branches out. Only the divine intervention of God can humanity find salvation, turning from rebellion to willing obedience. So we've got a new religion in town. It'd be nice to get rid of the Reformed, but that's fine. We don't need to. Crimea is preparing to attack Genoa. Genoa is boned. Ooh, I like that. 2 base production in Umbria. Yes, please. That was in Umbria, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. I'm like, where's Umbria? I can't find it. Okay, and let's see. I don't have a very large nation, so it's really sad when you can't find one of your provinces in a nation this tiny. So, imperial authority is reducing because of all these heretic princes around. There's also a bunch of imperial territory that is not currently held by the empire, and that's all well and good. So let's go buddy up to some of these electors. Are any of these electors... Your cap... Oh, I guess they would stop being electors if they were converted, wouldn't they? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if you're viable to be an elector if you're of the wrong religion or not. I think it might only be the emperor that has to be Catholic. So I'm gonna provinces of mind. Oh, you want Crete probably. I'm actually going to start improving my relations with the Ottomans. If I could get the Ottomans as an ally, which isn't necessarily that likely, but if I could get the Ottomans as an ally, that would actually be really useful for me. So, we'll see how it goes. Don't know what I want to build any of these things. I'm going to want to build a manufactory eventually. So Umbria does not have another thing available. Do I want to get rid of this dock now? I'm feeling like I might want to get rid of this dock now. Replace it with something more valuable. We don't have any real manpower here. Do I want to annex you, vassal? Almost certainly not. I want to use their claims on things like Mantua to go in. So I think we're going to just sit on this for now. Anything else that we need to be doing right now? We could... we could go after the Holy Roman Emperor. That seems like a great plan. So Montferrat is... Get wrecked, Milan. So Milan is currently at war with Switzerland and a bunch of other people. What is this war? It's the Swiss conquest of Milan. So it looks like the Swiss are going in against Milan. And that might eliminate Milan as a rival. I probably should not have set Venice as a rival, just because Venice is such a nuisance. It's very difficult, especially right now, for me to go after them. And outside of some really cheeky business, it's very difficult to actually get into their territory for anything. I can't really go against Castile because they just have too gigantic a blob, right? That's not going to be feasible. I can select a naval doctrine. I'm going to go with Merchant Navy because clearly I need more money, right? And I don't have nearly enough money. Did I upgrade this already? Yes, I did. Okay, we can get the Reiter if we want. How's our thing going here? We do not have colonialism even coming anywhere near procking. I'm not going to be wanting to invest in development just to get that, so. The maneuver value on your units increases by 25%. Thanks for the follow, Drunk Apples. Let's see here. Pedrero. Pedrero. Let's give them defensive shock value that won't be attributed to the front row because it's not a factor of 2. So that's completely useless. Make them slightly better at being on the front line, where if your cannons are on the front line, you're doing it wrong and they are going to be wiped out. Doesn't even matter. Interesting. Many reformed. Interesting. We've gained the conquest constantly against Tuscany. Wait. Tuscany just. So they just. They just swapped into a different nation. I do still have truces with them, though. Interesting. So it looks like my spy network got reset, but the diplomatic relations did not, generally. So they have 5 of these. They don't have any allies. It would be so convenient if I could just go in and murder them right this second, but we can't. We have to wait. We have to be patient. Yes, patience. Patience, precious. I shall own you soon. So, what do we want with you? Let's take a look at our aggressive expansion. So we're declining at 2.2 per year. I don't think we're going to be able to take more than 1 or 2. I don't think we'll be able to take 2 provinces from you. There's no way. We might be able to take Firens, but I don't even know that we could just take Firens without getting people over the limit. Oh, Parma's reformed! Excellent! I'm going to offer an alliance to Parma. Let's do it. Very nice. So, we now have a pretty large sphere of influence over here. For the Protestant faith. So we have a few years before we can start doing other stuff. We're not going to get an alliance with you. They're still hostile with us at plus 70 something, so. That generally doesn't go away, but considering how minor their desires from us are, it's a little weird that they're outright hostile to us. But it is, I guess, the Ottomans who are very big and very scary and want to conquer the world. Do I want... Do I want to take that immediately, or do I want to wait on it? I think I'm going to wait on it for now. Okay, the other thing is, are we full up? We are not. So we're going to build another Pedrero. We spare no expense. That's actually not true. I'm ridiculously cheap in this game. I'm way cheaper than I should be. It's a problem. It's a significant problem. But that's okay. I'm allowed to have problems. Problems are fine. So, Castile is attacking Portugal? No, that's... Wait, Scotland? Scotland is occupying Portugal. Well, that's certainly interesting. So I guess, based off of what I'm seeing here, England attacked Scotland, and France is allied with Scotland, and therefore they took this territory and then they gave it to Scotland. They transferred the occupation to Scotland because Scotland's the war leader. It's just funny to see. Wait, what? Why is there Scotland sitting on Portuguese provinces? All right, so admin power is going up, and we're gonna keep doing drills because drills are great. And how are we doing here? Everybody's still... You're all filthy Catholics. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. You will learn, my friends. You will learn. In time. So... we have actually quite a long time before the leagues start forming. I'm actually curious if, when the Protestant League forms, I'm curious how that affects the Emperor during the war. Because obviously the princes in the Empire give bonuses to the Emperor, but I'm wondering if the princes who are in the Empire but are currently at war with the Emperor count toward the Emperor's troops? Or not? I don't remember there being a particular mechanic that would undermine that. But the idea of, a bunch of your troops going to the Emperor is kind of funny. Basically, the Emperor gets a bonus to, I think, manpower, force limit, and I think it's manpower and force limit. I don't know that there's any other bonuses for their military for every prince in the Empire. So I'm curious how that is influenced by people who are actually directly at war with the Emperor. I get a penalty for that? I don't actually have a penalty to my manpower. Okay, so we're going to get local traditions soon. This is going to be really nice. Boom. -2 to national unrest. And after this point, we should start getting to the point where we don't have to worry too much. I'm going to take a Rezo, because I think a Rezo is actually a smaller one. And it's also actually within... So we now have a claim on everything between us and our vassal. The question is whether we want to give any of this to our vassal, or whether we just want to take it for ourselves. We'll see. So we've got 30 aggressive expansion. We've got a bunch of people just chilling. I might actually be able to get an alliance with France if I wanted. I should get an alliance with France. I really should. If I'm going to be trying to set up the the League War, I'm going to want to have some really major allies. Having Tunis is useful, but not that useful because they're not a mainland superpower. Getting France under my belt would be pretty helpful because France is pretty huge. We just got +1 siege on the guy who doesn't do siege. That's pretty useful. East Frisia. Okay, that is the other thing, is that I do have the ability to go after province now. I don't think I want to, though. Province is going to be a little outside of my sphere of influence, and it's going to give me a bunch of aggressive expansion that I don't want to deal with. It looks like Venice has taken a fort that is not Venice itself. That's actually very important. Piss off. Who needs legitimacy, right? Who needs legitimacy in their government? Certainly not me. And it looks like these guys have declared war on Genoa. Because everyone is going to be attacking Genoa because they can. Genoa is basically just getting obliterated on all sides. So we're going to go ahead and ask for military access through Parma. And we can offer them military access as well eventually. We should. Okay. I like this. Until the dude dies, we got -2 national unrest. So we should have no unrest, and that'll be very valuable. So Rome, how you doing? Unfortunately, I don't have religious zeal anymore because I didn't just convert anymore. So since I've been Protestant for so long, we're just like, fine, whatever, Rome, it's cool. I don't care. I can't be bothered. So interestingly enough, I don't. The Church of Urbino stands alone. Alone! With its severe legitimacy issues. Okay. Now. What do we want to do next? Hey, I can restore the Roman Empire. The government rank of Urbino changes to duchy. That's funny. Urbino breaks out of the empire happens. New World Diamonds. Ooh. So we've got Savoyard separatists popping here. My hope is that the Savoyard separatists are actually successful. I don't want them to hold on to that territory. When do you expire? It's November, so we can wait until, at the very least, like April or so before we do that. It looks like Genoa did lose Corsica, and that's actually fine. I don't need to worry about that. Oh, shit. No! God damn it. So Castile is going to rain on my parade here. Castile is jumping in on this because they have these permanent claims. That is unfortunate. So the hope, I guess, I'm not going to give them military access. So the hope is that by the time they bring the troops over, I'll actually be able to pop a siege unit into the capital. And preferably, but it's not going to happen. Aragon's sending 13,000 troops. So I don't know how much of this place they're going to eat themselves, but my guess is quite a bit. So I have a claim on course of it at least. They're just at war with Tuscany. This is the problem with being in truces. Obviously, the Pope isn't infallible. I still think that that should clearly have a different message for people that are not Catholic. It's really weird as, like, a Muslim nation or a Buddhist nation to see the thing going, ooh, it seems the Pope is no longer infallible. And it's like, really? No shit, Sherlock. You sure? Was there a point where my country thought that that was a thing? All right, so we're going to pop into Arezzo. The hope here is that I can at least get Arezzo locked in. Just look at the sheer volume of troops they've got chilling here. It's ridiculous. We are going to have to wait and see what Castile does over here. Castile is very much raining on our parade right now. That's a big problem. So we might actually want to change our strategy and go against Provence instead. Let me take a look at my current rivals. Venice, Milan, and Tuscany. So Tuscany is a rival. So declaring war on them is in my best interest. Since they are my rival, though, it might be in my best interest to declare a war on them for humiliate rival, since we have that option. So I think that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to try to humiliate rival with them. And do we have this at minus 20 yet? No, we do not. Is it worth waiting more? It's hard to say, but it may well be. Colonialism has already started spreading in Naples. Do we have positive relations with Naples? We do not. So we're going to start pumping our relations with Naples. Because improving our relations with Naples will help us get this done. Can I... They're neutral to us, which is unfortunate. And we're not that far away from the point where we can get them as an ally. If we can get France as an ally, then our combined alliance chain might actually be able to handle a Castilian war. So do I want to go after Provence right now? We have very low aggressive expansion in this region. So, and we have 3 different provinces to go after. I feel like we should probably do it. I don't necessarily want to improve Montferrat. I don't want to expand them. going to take a look at how big province is right now. So, province has 11,000 troops, and then the other one was East Frisia. East Frisia has no troops. That's strange. Okay, I think we're going to do it. We're going to go after province instead. We're going to call Trier into the war because Trier should be able to deal with their ally with no trouble. Do I want to call Trier into the war? No, Trier is one of the electors. I'm going to leave them out of this for now. And we should be able, just with us and our vassal, to easily handle both armies. It's just, I'm paranoid. So, I'm especially paranoid when it comes to armies that I can't actually immediately... That was silly of me. I should have done that. I guess I can't cancel it anyway before a month ends. Okay, so we're going to pop over here. We are not, because that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to accept the demands. It's fine. Okay, so we're going to tick this, and then once we've ticked this, we're going to send probably about half of them. This guy. Do I even want that many? I don't think I do. Alright, so luckily, the current situation looks pretty good. Oh my goodness, look at that. Tuscany is no longer a valid rival, so we got the thing for that. We can just annex Arezzo now, if we want. So they're going to run away now, and then they're going to come back, and then they're going to run away again, and then they're going to come back. Alright, so we just lost one of our advisors. And we will take national manpower for the hell of it. We're not actually at our manpower cap, so getting a national manpower bonus is pretty nice. That's the amount that you regain is based off of your total, so it is always useful to increase your cap. Okay, we lost the Conquest Casus against our vassal, which... fine. Not a problem. So, we're trying to improve relations with Naples. For some reason... yes. If we have friendly relations with them, then we'll be able to get colonialism faster. If we can get colonialism faster... Oh, right, I forgot to actually do this. I am a dope. I no longer need military access through your territory, friend. And so these guys are now heading back because they no longer have military access through Genoa. Nice. Oh, this is going to be tough. It's trouble. Ooh. You know, 5 years of separatism is fine. So this is going to be a rough fight because we are in mountains, so we're going to have a -2 from that. But it's all fine. It's all totally fine. Everything's fine. Why wouldn't it be fine? So these guys actually arrived just in time to flee immediately, so that's convenient. We're going to wait for this to tick, and then we're going to say, hey, we've dealt with your major forts. Let's deal with the rest of you now. So we're going to merge everyone together, because if we merge everyone together, then they are all moving at the same speed, because we have a 3 mobility and a 1 mobility general. They're going to be desyncing the troops. So popping over to here, and Province has 7 galleys. They don't seem interested in attacking my ships. But while they don't seem to be interested in attacking my ships... Okay, we're going to pop over to Avignon. We're going to basically tick over this province, and then once we've ticked it over, we can put a siege general in charge and move into province. I did not want to run blindly toward whatever was here with the lower tier general. Well, not lower tier, but from a combat perspective, he's not as good. And now we should be able to... How many do we need even? We only need 3,000 troops here. So I think we're going to... I don't really... Okay, well, that's inconvenient, to say the least. So what's the plan now? I don't really want to get into a pissing contest with these because there's going to be casualties on both sides if I do so, and I don't see any real reason to sacrifice boats. We're having a lot of people die very rapidly. There's a lot of death. We're gonna go with Cosimo. Alright, so this army is doing fine, aside from the fact that they don't have an actual proper leader. This is... I'm really bristling about the inefficiency here because I have all these troops here that don't need to be here, but it's fine. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. My laziness knows no bounds. And let's see here. Genoa do not have the ability to fabricate a claim on you. You know what? We're just going to pop this. It's fine. Okay, so the next one we are definitely not going to want to pop. So once this ticks over, we should be largely set here. We'll have their capital. We will not have... I guess they have several other nations available. Where's our ally? Oh, we didn't bring an ally in. I'm a dope. Okay, never mind. Truce with Baden has ended. So our legitimacy is now going up, which is nice. We won the Siege of Provence. And we're going to take all of our claims. And that is a coalition of considerable size. So we're not going to be able to take all 3. If we just take... Oh, that is a 20 development province. Okay, I'm going to want to take that province. So if we take this, we have Milan, Venice, and Genoa. And that is not a problem for me. And then we will have them transfer trade power. Oh, we can't do that with our current war score. Well then. Do we want to continue going so that we can increase our war score, or do we want to peace out? There is only one option here. Who else is in this war? Anhalt and Lorraine. Hey, Protestant Zealots! Very nice. We got Protestant Zealots messing with Austria. How funny would it be if Austria was broken by the Protestant Zealots and ended up getting just kicked out of the seat? I think that would be very amusing. So tolerance of heretics up. Okay, so we are ready to pop back over. Oh, we can't pop back over? There we go. There we go. So Province is willing to do this now, but they're not willing to do the war reparations. I think that's fine. I don't think I need to get too stuck in the woodworks here. Genoa will be upset, but I think we currently have... Do we have a truce with you? We have a truce with Genoa. It's not going to last very long, but we do have a truce with them. So that's fine. We'll just do this. It'll be fine. Am I going to be able to do this again? So Province has set me as a rival. And we are going to start coring this stuff. On the plus side, it's the same religion as me. I can actually... oh. I'm an idiot. I should not have done that immediately. Okay, so we can't actually start coring that stuff immediately. I'm just going to pump up the autonomy to 100% for now, and then we'll worry about it later. We'll have a bit of overextension, but that's fine. And we have... Where's our institution? So Rome has 46% already, and Siena has 42% already. So we're getting very quick gains to colonialism. This is 4 per month, so... An offer of knowledge sharing from Cologne. I don't think there's really much reason to. There's not much reason to do that just because we're going to be getting it anyway. So Tuscany, we could declare war on to try and take this last province from them. But there's really no reason to do it right now. Nobody else has the ability to attack them yet. So we have the ability to just wait until we feel like it, basically. Now, I need to start building spy networks in Castile. I have an outraged attitude toward Castile. Does anybody else have outraged? Doesn't look like it. Genoa does. Montferrat does. If I started a coalition against them, I wonder if France would join. Let's see. So we can set province as a war enemy if we want. We can also set Switzerland as a rival. Switzerland is allied with way too many people for it to be worth it to attack. We don't want to set 2 rivals that we don't want to be going after. So even though province we currently have a thing with, I think it's in our best interest to just set them. And let's see here. What else do we need to do? Anything interesting? I need another subject to reduce the cost on annexation. Do I want Ferrara as a vassal, or do I want to just annex them? If I annex them, then I have the ability to create other vassals. But it's probably better to feed them than it is to get new vassals, if we're being honest. Especially since we have an opening against Venice now. Venice is going to basically be an interesting case. We can't take Venezia itself, but weirdly enough, that's a very strange choice. We have, like, no interests in common, Portugal. Like, we are completely outside of each other's sphere of influence. That is a weird choice. Do you have no better choices? Let's see. What was I going to say? So with Venice taking more territory outside of Venezia, this province is really hard to siege because Venice has such a huge navy, even with just the one province. You know what, that's fine. I don't mind getting Casus Belli for diplomatic insult. I don't need the relations bonus with Castile, so... Though, I do need to worry about their aggressive expansion now because they moved in. Castile. So, how is my unrest here? It's very high. These Tuscan separatists are going to cause problems for Castile. I should finance these. I'm going to finance these things. Okay, we need to start building a spy. I thought I was already doing it, but we weren't. So we're going to start building a spy network there because the time has come to start supporting rebels in all their glory. There's a very decent chance that I'm not going to be able to actually support the rebels because I won't get the opportunity to before they pop. But that's fine. If you support the rebels, you do increase the total quantity of rebels that they get, which is very convenient. So as for Venice, we're going to be wanting to get some claims on them. Hello! Blockade effect on siege is really good. War score cost versus other religions is not terrible. Ship trade power propagation is not terrible. Institution spread in true faith provinces. Prestige per development from missionary. I'm not using missionaries really. I feel like I might want to just go with the religious wars is really nice. So the question is, I think I'm going to get this to tick up again, absolutely, before I have to worry about major conflicts with other religions. So we're going to take floating batteries. Because at a certain point, I have to start translating my navy into actual naval dominance, so I might as well start doing that now. I could have built a couple of carracks instead, but that probably would have been more effective to build a couple of carracks, honestly. That's fine, though. He's fine. It is all fine. I have sufficient stuff to build this up if I want. So I could spend this to get this into a world port. And that... There we go. Holy crap! 42 trade power? Yeesh! Okay then. Yeah, that's a pretty sizable increase. I think we were at 14% before. So, the hope is that these Tuscan separatists actually succeed. It's not guaranteed, and I don't know how likely it is. The advantage is that I don't think that Aragon or Naples are going to send it. Ooh, these are pretender rebels, and they just took a fort. So that's very useful. No, their Aragon army is going to wipe them out. There's no way that we're going to have successful rebellion over here because Aragon is stashing their troops here. So that's too bad, but oh well. These guys are Tuscan. Okay, Siena is Tuscan. So this is actually a problem. It's not a big problem because Siena is right next to Roma. What do I want to declare war for? I can't fabricate a claim because I already have things on everything that they have. So the question is, do I want to start a war with Genoa? Just to get them off of a potential coalition. And to get some money. And they do have... They have a significant amount of trade power here. So we're going to do it. We're just going to declare war on Genoa. We're going to siege down their capital. And it's going to be a trade war. So, concession of defeat, transfer trade power, and trade steering. But yeah, Genoa, I don't think has an army, right? They currently don't have an army, at least not one in their hometown. So we're going to just move over here, and we're going to blockade their port. So, because of the fact that we're not intending to take any territory, we don't need to worry about aggressive expansion or anything like that. And we had enough, but do not now have enough to actually get colonialism embraced. That's fine, though. Can I do this? No, I can't do it anyway. So we don't need to worry about that until this core finishes. And anything else we need to do? We're just waiting to tech up until we remove the tech penalty. Once we get the tech penalty gone, we'll actually be able to do both of these, which should be pretty nice. And we might even be able to do this twice. I don't think so. I don't think so, but we'll see. I think the base cost is... So that'll be... What, 150 removed from the cost? It's a pretty massive amount removed from the cost. So we might actually be able to do two. At the very least, we'll be able to do two relatively quickly. Request for military access from England. Who are you at war with? Nobody that I have a vested interest in allowing you to fight, so... I don't have any skin in this game. So it looks to me like these Tuscan separatists, for whatever reason, they did not actually move to any of these other locations. They're just sitting on Florencia. Who are you at Worth? Province. So it looks like that's going to go badly. So now they're moving. Of course they are. So we just won the Siege of Genoa, and we can do whatever we want to Genoa. So what we're going to do is we're going to have them transfer their trade power to me. We're going to have them pay the maximum amount that we can get them to pay. And we don't have any cores, so we don't have to worry about that. Oh, we wouldn't have been able to get the cores anyway. And we'll have them give up their claims in Ferrara, because why not? And you know what? We're going to have them give up all their claims generally, because if we have them give up a bunch of claims, that's pretty useful. So, let's do it. What do we get here? We get 8 prestige, not a huge amount. Alright, we can now embrace an institution, now that we have all that money. Do we want to wait for it? Probably not. It's not worth it. It's going to take a while for that to spread, and we're getting close to the cap from one of these things. And we get a provincial trade power modifier from this, so that's useful. How are we doing here? 383. And we are caught up in that tech. Nice. Do we need to do anything else? If we wait another... It's probably worth it to cap just for this. Because it will... we don't lose as much from capping as we lose from the other stuff. So Milan is no longer a valid rival for some reason. I don't know why that changed just now. Switzerland has no navy, but the issue with attacking Switzerland is that they have a lot of allies, I think. So Augsburg, Ravensburg, Parma, and Venice. So they have the knights in Switzerland. Ooh! Do we want to do this? Obviously, no. We want to get some claims first. But we can fabricate a claim on Verona. And because it would not be worth it, I don't think. Whoa. During the Reformation outbreaks and the destruction of Catholic religious art occurred in various European countries. And the first example is the Bildenstorm in the Low Countries, but similar attacks occurred in Germany, Switzerland, England, Scotland, France, and Livonia. The majority of the attacks were carried out by spontaneous mobs, but in some countries the government took a leading role. Riots? What riots? I don't know what you're talking about with the riots. So we lost some stability, but we converted Rome. So, it's fine. We're the good guys, right? Okay, so it looks like Castile is actually leaving. They're bringing their troops out of here. So that's pretty interesting. Are we getting close to the point where we're going to be able to go after Castile? Almost certainly not, no. But we will probably be able to take the Tuscan stuff once we feel like it. So overextension, yeah, we're not gonna do that until it goes negative, probably. Oh man, those penalties are starting to stack up. All these damn Catholics in my cabinet. These filthy, filthy Catholics. Okay, so I actually won't cap. I did my math wrong. Okay, so we can make this a state if we want. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Core this. And there we go. So we're starting to core the other place. So how are we doing on the religious front? It looks like the Holy Roman Empire is just getting mass converted. Austria is still Catholic, kind of, but all of its territory is no longer Catholic. So, good luck with that, friends. Meanwhile, we've got a Protestant Center of Reformation chilling down here that we will hopefully take control of eventually. That'll be convenient, and I am an idiot and wasn't paying enough attention. So I didn't need to cap, but I capped anyway. And let's see here. We can get minus 10 years of separatism here. So we finished Conquer New States. Definitely not going to finish Assemble an Army anytime soon. And actually, now is the time to build buildings. It also reduces the cost of building stuff or something, right? No, it does not. It just gives me more tax income. So, at some point, we're going to need to take Verona. Okay, we've got claims on both of those provinces now. And how's our aggressive expansion looking? 64 with them already. Yeah, we're going to have to chill and just let our aggressive expansion peel off for a while. We'll be able to expand a little bit down here, but each of these chunks that we bite off of people is just so much aggressive expansion at this point. You know, the fact that my prestige is low is actually a big problem for me. That's a big portion of the reason why I'm having troubles with that. Do I want, since I can't bring anyone in on these wars for a while anyway, do I want to actually just call for Humiliate Rival? The problem with the Humiliate Rival is that I won't actually be able to bring a navy to bear. I don't have any allies with a proper navy. So, unless I had more ships than Venice natively, there's really not much reason to try it, because I can't get control of their capital, which means that I'm never going to get control of the war goal. We have a lot of income. One thing that we could do if we wanted is we could just go crazy and build another 10 galleys. Navies are pretty cheap, so even if I go over my limit, it's not really that big a deal. Oh, Urbino has another empty slot. Let's build a marketplace. Da, 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 da. Yearly prestige. Let's go. Also, how is my inflation? Inflation is not great, so we'll need to drop that eventually. It's not a priority right now, though. How's our trade power here? Local trade power here is minuscule. Local trade power here is pretty sizable. I don't really want to build shipyards in such high-value provinces. Shipyards are really something that you want to be building in places that don't have good stats. So province is no longer a valid rival. So if I were to declare on Venice, I'd basically be declaring on 2 rivals simultaneously if I get Switzerland as a rival. We're running out. We're running out of locals that we can go up against, honestly. So Augsburg, Ravensburg, Parma, and Venice. So we have 5 more years of truce with them, but we don't have it. We don't have an access point either. So Savoy got this back from rebels, presumably, and now they're losing it again. So hopefully this will just tick over and we'll be able to just annex a bunch of territory from Tuscany later. I'm just going to pump up my speed a bit. We're slowly but surely getting where we need to be. Is there someone else? That makes a good ally. Hey, France is friendly with me now. When did that happen? Okay, we are actually going to offer an alliance to France because an alliance with France is potentially very valuable, generally. And honestly, we don't necessarily need Ferrara anymore. It's vaguely useful to have them, but I think we should just annex them. Call it a day. Get this integration dealt with, because we are going to be playing some Holy Roman Empire games that really do not benefit from having vassals so much as they benefit from having other stuff. We can get a cheaper way of handling that. And Austria has just freed the frickin' thing from the separatists. God damn you, Austria. It's just so silly that Austria has done that. Alright, well, whatever. This is the thing that happens very often, is the AI will actually break the rebels for their enemies in a war. Which is not typically what you'd expect. Because, like, seriously, the Austrian army just came down here, killed the rebels, and left. That's nothing but beneficial for the thingers. So, Greece is allied with Austria. Oh no! We lost our general. Alright, so I think we're in pretty good shape here. We've got not too bad a situation at any rate. We still have the ability to build more. Do we want to build a flagship just for the hell of it? I think we do. No. Okay, we can't actually build a flagship because we don't have a big enough navy. Fine. We'll build another galley. So we're just going to keep building galleys until we have more ships than Venice. This is a big war going on. Who are you at war with? Where's Bavaria and Savoy? Yeah, no, I don't need to do anybody. I ain't giving any y'all nothing. So Burgundy just set me as a rival. Which makes sense. We did have the ability to set them as one just now. We didn't do it, but we had the ability to. Do we want to just set them as a rival because we can? They're not a great rival. We can't take anything from them. So one whole province. Oh my goodness. I don't see why I need troops in a region adjacent to them to steal their maps. I guarantee you, I've heard some really weird stories of the ways that people can do like weird nonsense crossing the world. I would guarantee you that that's why they have that mechanic, but it's still silly. The world has a cheese with worms? What? Unorthodox version of the creation too. Fascinating perspective. 15% chance of being a babbling buffoon. 70% chance of an innovative court. Fascinating! So, did we get the court thing? And we did! We got an innovative court. Nice. So that's a reduction to the cost of ideas. And those bonuses really stack very nicely together, so I'm quite happy with that. Ravensburg wants military access. I say no! Tuscany... So, years of separatism reduction is nice, and oh, nice, we got an increase to diplomatic relations. So I didn't actually need to get rid of the Ferrara. I could have actually kept them along, because I have 7 diplomatic relations slots. That's an insane number of diplomatic relations slots, actually. Let's see here. I'll be able to take most of these guys along without losing anything. We'll just take the cavalry and a couple of the infantry. So this will weaken our army by a little bit, but not a huge amount. Do we have our relations improved? We do not, I think, have anyone building a spy network over there. We definitely need to keep this up. We don't necessarily need this Tuscan spy network for now. So, we have 31 aggressive expansion with them. We have 54 with Venice. We have 20 with Castile. I think we're going to try to take Arezzo. We do not have a leader, so fingers crossed that we get a good one. And we got a pretty good one. Only 1 siege, but 1 siege is better than nothing. You are allied with Lorraine now. That's very nice for you. So Lorraine's up there. And we might as well just try to take this. Alright, we have taken out their army. They only have... Hey, he's a 3-star general, nice. This is only a rank 1 fort, so it should be pretty fast. And we'll just take this out, and then we will pop over to Lorraine and deal with that. So the question is, if I take Arezzo, we have... If we take Arezzo, we have 3 nations that still exist and are in this coalition. And one of them's Genoa, who we can actually annex pretty effectively. Oh, that's interesting. Parma does not consider this relationship to be valuable anymore. Well... If that's the case, then I'm going to build a spy network and annex you later. That'll be great. Okay, so... Okay, so... Next on our agenda... Switzerland has announced Urbino as a rival. You cannot get to your ally. Your ally has no ability to actually help you. Do I want... to do something about that? I think it'll cost... Oh, right, I took their navy. I forgot. Okay, we have war galleys here. Oh, the other thing that I need to do, because I completely forgot about this, is I need to upgrade my ships. So that will give us a little bit of extra oomph on our trade protection mission. And our repair threshold should be any damage. Yeah, big mistake, Parma. That was really dumb. So Parma has just given me another free alliance slot. We're going to cancel the military access through Parma. And yeah, this is going to be bad for you. Let's see here. Verona. Ooh, this is interesting. They have noble rebels that are going through their territory. So Switzerland will join. The question is, would Venice join? And Venice is still willing. What is with the occupied and besieged provinces at home not having any effect on people's willingness to join these wars? It's very strange. If I did declare this war, though, then I might... I can't bring anybody in on it. Oh, because they'll be called into multiple wars. If I'm able to actually attack and take this before... and take out their army before they get to... do anything... do I have anybody that I can get military... Do I have military access through France? I should, right? Okay. We will ask for military access through France. We lost Conquest Casus Belli against Genoa. Yeah, it looks like they took this back. That's... Oh! Actually, they didn't. I think they broke to the nobles. Yeah, this is actually very funny that Lorraine has no way to get to me and are just delaying this fight for a considerable period. So this navy is going to be able to continue protecting trade here. And once we take Arezzo, we will be one step closer to our objective. We have 17 years before we need to be... Life is sad. We have 17 years before we've got... good stuff going out. Yeah, no, that's fine. Venice is going to attack Milan. Austria are no longer considered a great power. The world has decided not to entertain Austria's claim for greatness. Interesting. So Austria is no longer considered a world power. So who are the great powers? Denmark is doing... Oh my god. Okay, that explains a lot. So Denmark annexed them, and they're taking some territory over here. So Denmark's doing quite well for themselves. So Genoa and Naples are fighting, which means you are fighting a lot of people right now. Poor bastards. Yeah, Castile's annexing Genoa. Will there be a coalition forming against Castile after this? There might be. Okay, we've got a claim on Parma itself. And this is interesting because it'll only get those two things pissed at me. Nobody else actually gives too much of a crap. Milan is currently winning this, but probably not by a sufficient enough margin to deal with the fact that I'm sure on this capital fort things are going very badly. Okay, there we go. So we can now annex. We are all set. Oh, and I'm capped out on military power. So we're going to start spending our military power to strengthen the government. There's no real reason not to. So we're actually going to do this, just get it all the way up to 99, because this is way far away. That's not going to be cost effective. So we are all set to annex Arezzo. Arezzo has very little unrest, considering that I just took the territory. And how are we doing on our thinger? We are 1 over our limit, which is not too bad. And once we core this up and reduce the autonomy down, we'll be in good shape, I think. Okay then, so it is now almost 3 o'clock, so I think we're probably going to just end things here for now. Unfortunately, we're in a bit of a difficult position, but we do still have the ability, as an example, to go into Parma. We can take down Parma, annex that soon. Unless Venice does it first. Which is... No, Venice isn't going to attack them. Venice is not going to attack Parma because Parma is allied with Venice's ally. So that's not likely to happen. So we should be okay in that regard. So if I were to attack Venice now... Is there anybody else who... They have Holland now. Okay, so I think we're actually just going to end things here for now. We're making some more money. We are slowly but surely expanding our reach here. Unfortunately, because of the fact that Castile does have this gigantic chain of unbreaking ridiculousness, it is unlikely that we will be able to do a huge amount to them too soon. That said, with them annexing more territory over here, it's possible that we'll get enough people who are outraged that we can form the center of a coalition and then declare war as a coalition, call France in, and basically break their personal union over Naples. As an example, breaking their personal union over Naples would be very, very valuable, or breaking their personal union over Aragon. It's kind of a weird situation. Like, the situation between Aragon and Naples is a weird one. So if you break the personal union with Aragon, then Naples is in this weird state where it's kind of under two different it's a junior partner twice, but they have different... Anyway, I've run into some weird bugs with breaking the personal unions here, where it just is like, wait, what? This is totally broken. Whose minion are you? And it turns out kind of both. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. So thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure to stream for you today, and I hope to see you all again next time when we will hopefully be expanding a little bit further. And on the plus side, you can at least see my name now. Later, folks.